Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a card for you guys today, and today we are asking the question, how to heal your ancestral trauma. So yeah, this is a pretty deep one today, you guys. We're basically going to be looking into your family dynamics, and not just your current ones that you presently deal with, but even if we're going like way back, even like decades before you were born, even maybe centuries before you were born in a sense, because stuff that happens to our ancestors, it does trickle down through the bloodlines, through our family line, and you may be dealing with stuff and having things impact you that you may not even realize that goes back to times before you were around, or your parents or your grandparents or anything. So it's a good thing to do. And the thing is, like, the stuff that happens in our family, whether it's present tense or past tense, that affects every area of our life. It affects how we feel about ourselves, how we look at ourselves, our own self-love and our self-worth and value. It affects our interactions and connections with other people, whether it's family, friends, people that we work with, lovers. It affects everything, and it especially affects our most intimate relationships, especially if you're talking about like a divine counterpart or something like that. So it definitely impacts those types of relationships, but it plays into every area of our world possible: how we view money, how we view abundance and success, just everything. So it's really good to look into this stuff, because sometimes if we're struggling and we're not doing so well and there's no like earthly reason we can really put our finger on to why that's happening, this is a good way to look into it. This is a good way to kind of find out and get the healing process started, and just figure it out. And I feel like right now we're just going to be kind of touching on the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this. So this may give you a good idea on how to start, how to begin, but I feel like it's something that takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of hard work. So this may be kind of like an open door for you to experience dealing with that. And, you can always dive in deeper, with meditations and healings and, more in-depth type of readings when it comes down to this kind of thing. So just take it as it resonates as we go into this. And this may be kind of a lengthy introduction, so I may actually put a timestamp down below before I even get into the piles, picking the cards basically for a timestamp, simply because like this is kind of a major type of reading to do. I know it's going to be kind of intense, and I know I'm probably going to be a little bit rambly before I get into the pile introductions, so I feel like it's better to just like put a timestamp down below, even just for the pile introductions for this video in particular, because I did want to share with you guys at least what inspired me to do this type of reading today. I know most of the time you guys always come to me for like the love related readings, and I love doing the love readings, and they're awesome. And actually, like, the last pick a card that I uploaded had nothing to do with love, and it was a career related reading. And I think it was really funny because right after I uploaded it, I lost like 4 or 5 subscribers. I was like, wow, okay, you guys only want love. Who cares about, being stable and having a career and, being able to pay your bills and stuff? Who cares about that? That's kind of important too. But yeah, I mean, I love doing the love-related readings. I know they're important to you guys, and I know that's a huge, important part of life too. Those things matter to me as well. But variety is the spice of life, and there are other things that can be important too, like your career, or especially the family thing. Like, that's kind of major. So yeah, that's just another reason why I'm doing this today. And this past week was honestly really difficult for me in terms of family stuff. And, I'm not going to go into this here and now, because that's not what my channel is here for. It's not like a, hey, this is Heather's place to vent about her life kind of a thing. But it's inspired by it. And I was supposed to go live on Monday night, and that didn't happen because I was having some issues dealing with my mom. And that's kind of been the consistent theme for the week. And because of that, I decided to do this reading about ancestral trauma because I know the issues I'm having dealing with my mom, it really goes beyond her. It goes beyond her, it goes beyond me, it goes beyond our current time and our current situation. And I figured, if I'm dealing with stuff, I know other people are dealing with stuff too, and this could be good for all of us. And the other cool thing is, too, you guys, on Tuesday this week, I went and I checked out 2 metaphysical shops that are in the area, and there are not a whole lot of these in the Chicago suburbs. Most of them are down in the city, and I don't get into the city all that often. So I went to these 2 metaphysical shops that were like practically right next door to each other in one of the suburbs. And so today I have a few new crystals here that I got from that shop that are going to be a part of the pick a card here, which is pretty exciting. And I also bought a new oracle deck there as well, which I will be using in today's reading too, which is called the Sacred Creators Oracle. So we're going to incorporate some of that as well. I'm excited to see how this goes. It's going to be a fun reading. Definitely a lot going on in it, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, I think that ends the tangent, and I feel like my introduction here was actually not as long as I thought it was going to be for some reason. But now I'm going to go ahead and head into these pile introductions so you guys can go ahead and pick a crystal, pick a group, and we can get started and find out what you need to heal, how things need to heal here for this ancestral trauma stuff. Okay, so pile number 1 is the Angel Aura Quartz. And I feel like in the lighting it doesn't look as kind of rainbowy as it could. It kind of has like this iridescent rainbowy kind of thing going on in the right light, but it may be a little hard to see in this. But Angel Aura Quartz is really good for angel communication. It's good for deeper meditation. It helps relieve stress, and it brings peace and serenity. One of the main chakras that you can use dealing with this is the crown. And yeah, so if any of that information helps you in deciding, this is the Angel Aura Quartz. Okay, pile number 2, we have a heart-shaped clear quartz. The ever so famous clear quartz here. And the clear quartz is, it's for energy clearing, energy cleansing, that kind of stuff, aura cleansing as well. And it is basically an amplifier for your intentions. So if you have like another crystal that you set an intention on, like let's say you had rose quartz and you were setting the intention dealing with love, relationships and true love and self-love and all that kind of stuff, having this handy dandy clear quartz would help amplify that intention. So that's a pretty cool thing too. And it's good for all of the chakras. And then finally, last but not least, pile number 3 is an opalite. And opalite actually helps with communication from spirit, from the divine, from God. And it helps remove energy blockages, like negative ones, obviously. It doesn't remove like positive stuff, but helps remove the negative type of things. And it helps stimulate your psychic visions. So it really helps you tap into your intuition in a stronger way. And it is really good chakra-wise for your third eye, which makes sense with the whole psychic vision thing. So opalite is pile number 3. So those are your 3 different pile choices, and timestamps are down below for all of this, the introduction to the piles and the piles themselves. And we're going to go ahead and get started and see what you need to know dealing with healing your ancestral trauma. So let's get started here with pile number 1, Angel Aura Quartz. Also, you guys, I nearly forgot to mention this in my introduction of the video before I officially get into these piles here. I'll make it super snappy, but just a reminder, I'm live every Monday and Fridays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to do live readings. So if you guys are interested in that, come on by. get a reading done, I would love to have you there. And I'm also open and available for private readings as well. If you have maybe like a more complicated question that you want to ask, or you want to keep things confidential and not discuss it over a live, or you just have more than one question, like multiple questions you want to ask, deep dive into something, we can totally do that too. So contact me, reach out to me if you're interested in one of those two. So information for both lives and private readings are down below in the description. So everything that you need to know is there in terms of that. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here. I'll get back to you. Totally cool. So that's just one other thing I want to add. And also, please give this video a like, and feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell too, and leave me a comment, because that definitely helps me out in terms of growing this channel, and that better helps me eventually obviously help you guys too. So anyways, now we're going to go ahead and jump into the reading in full. So hello to pile 1. Hi pile 1. If you chose the Angel Aura Quartz, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out about your ancestral trauma and how it needs to be healed. Okay, set that up there. And we're going to get started here with if I can grab all these cards the right way. We're going to get started here with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. And I'm going to go ahead and lay these cards down here for you in front of you, and we'll just kind of see how they all link up and connect to one another as we go through them. So we have the Devil. Bring this a little bit closer over here. There we go. The Two of Pentacles. The Emperor. The Two of Cups. And the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I see a couple different things going on here in this family dynamic situation already. Okay, so the first thing that I see here is you guys have the Emperor. And the Emperor is basically the embodiment of all the kings. So he is like the top dude. He is, you know, the man, basically. He's the one who's in charge. You know, he is not a page. He is not a knight. He is like super alpha type of male. Now, the Emperor, he can go one of two ways. You know, he can be a good king, or he can be a bad king. Like, the best way I can describe it is think of like the Lion King. You know, you have Mufasa, who was a good king, and he ruled fairly and he ruled justly, and he you know, he made sure that Pride Rock was like fertile and fruitful, and all of his, you know, royal subjects and everything, you know, all the animal kingdom was doing amazing and happy and had good lives. Then on the flip side, you have Scar, his brother. And when Scar became king, I mean, first of all, he became king in the shadiest of ways possible by killing Mufasa and, you know, sending Simba off, you know, running, fearing for his life, basically. But when Scar came in, he basically like destroyed Pride Rock. He completely like burned everything to the ground. He brought the hyenas in, and next thing you know, everyone is starving, the skies are gray, there's no grass, you know, it's terrible times, basically. But they were both kings, but, you know, one ruled fairly and justly, and the other one was just a friggin' nightmare, basically. Now, I feel like in regards to this particular question and this particular emperor, since we're dealing with family trauma that probably needs to be healed here, I feel like this emperor is probably a very like alpha male, someone who was very much so in your family line at some point. And remember, this could be as recent as like a father or a grandfather, or it could be like, you know, decades, centuries back. So you may not even necessarily know who this family member is, but I feel like whoever this was, who knows, they may have been a king, but I feel like it was someone who definitely was of authority, that he was a leader, that he was an alpha kind of male, that he was very much so in charge, basically, when it came to life and when it came to the family. That it was like, nobody did anything without running things by him. But I feel like he was probably more of the Scar type of energy than the Mufasa type of energy, because this is probably something that needs to be healed. This may be someone who was a leader, but he led in a very damaging way, and in a way that, kind of brought other family members to experience PTSD in a sense, probably from dealing with this person. And another reason to back that up here is the devil. And the devil can be about temptation. It can be about addictions, bad behaviors, negative mental mindsets, and that kind of thing. So, if we're talking about addiction, for example, it could be alcoholism, it could be drugs, it could be gambling, it could be sex, it could be food, it could be like a whole bunch of different things. But even if it's not something that's physically tangible like alcohol or drugs, it could just simply be negative mindsets. It could be horrible, awful mental strongholds. And I feel like whatever damaged this emperor had dealing with the family, it has kind of like passed down this horrible bondage, basically, of living in toxicity, because the devil can be very toxic. So I feel like this emperor, this king in your family line, whoever he is, he probably passed down a lot of craziness and a lot of toxicity here, because I feel like family members kind of probably felt like these two unicorns here in the card, they're strapped in here to this devil, they're chained up, they're prisoners. And I feel like whoever this person was made other family members feel like they were prisoners within the family. And when people feel like that, they don't have their freedoms, they don't feel like they can move, they don't feel like they can do anything, and that can be carried down from generation to generation to generation, and just regenerate, basically, that toxicity. So I feel like that's definitely been a major issue. And I also feel like, for in order to kind of get out of this here, it really comes down to choices, because the Two of Pentacles is about like balancing things. It's about balancing two different options, two different ideas, two different people, like two different things. So I feel like a lot of times in this particular family situation, people probably go back and forth in their minds a lot, going back and forth between like the old way of thinking and being and experiencing life in this family, dealing with this devil toxic kind of energy, and then they shuffle back to a more healthy kind of idea of like, but I need to break out of this, but there has to be something better than this, like this can't be normal, like this can't be the regular way to function in a family type of situation. So I feel like people kind of go back and forth and back and forth, and they get double-minded. It's like one minute they get sucked into the drama and they get sucked back into the chaos that's happened in the family, but then in another moment they're just like, no, 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 we can't keep doing that. We got to make this better. We got to, get out of this situation. We got to heal this. We got to make things better. And, while it's good that means some people have realized that something is definitely broken here and something needs to be changed, the problem is when you're double-minded like that and you're going back and forth between one and the other, is nothing actually gets done. Because then every time someone takes 2 steps forward, they're automatically going 2 steps back. And that just brings them right back to the same place that they were. So I feel like this has kind of happened a lot in the family line too. Like I said, I feel like it all kind of started with this overbearing Scar type of emperor in the family. But I do believe that there is hope at the same time, because people are going back and forth, trying to figure things out. Because we also have the Page of Pentacles. And the Page, he's obviously not a king. He's not a knight. He's kind of nobody in a sense. But the Page does have a genuine, authentic, very physical and tangible offer to make into this world. And I do feel like there is somebody out there in this family line who is not Scar. You know, this could be Simba, basically, in a sense. Maybe this is the Simba of the family, and he could be a king in the making. You know, think of it more like baby Simba, not necessarily adult Simba, because pages are usually very young, they're very youthful. So think of this as maybe more of like a baby Simba kind of thing. And he does have something genuine. He does have something real and authentic and good to offer to the family line, but he hasn't necessarily quite grown into that role yet of stepping into, you know, becoming a knight and then becoming a king, and eventually that good emperor that would be Mufasa in a sense. So I do feel like there's someone in the family who could be in this role. It could even be you, the person who's the viewer here. You know, a lot of the times, especially if there has been a lot of abuse and a lot of damage done in a family line, if there is someone who does come along and break those rules and break those traditions of toxicity, that is usually the transitional character in a family story, and that could be you. And the other interesting thing we have here too is the Two of Cups, and kind of continuing with this whole Lion King theme here, dealing with this group. I don't know why, but the Lion King seems to work with this family dynamic here. So maybe whoever is watching this, maybe the Lion King is one of your favorite movies. I don't know. If it is, go back and watch it, because it may be like watching your own family in a sense. But with the Two of Cups here, I feel like that would be like Simba and Nala in a sense, because the Two of Cups is a partnership. And, you know, a lot of the times in the tarot, it can be interpreted as a love connection, as a love partnership. It doesn't have to be, you know, if this was like a career reading, it would be like a business partnership kind of thing. But it's a partnership, and it's usually a positive partnership, and it's usually, you know, two people or two parties coming together to work together. And I feel like, you know, that's kind of a part of what needs to happen here to bring healing to some of this toxic insanity here. You know, it's like Simba needs to unite with his Nala, basically, and, you know, step up into his role of being king, being the emperor here, and, you know, dethroning Scar, pretty much. And this is exactly why I said at the beginning of this reading, you guys, that a lot of the times, you know, what happens in our family affects every other area of our life. So if you do have a love connection with like a divine counterpart here, like this card suggests, then that is going to, you know, be impacted by your family, because, you know, naturally you would probably want your divine counterpart to be a part of your family. So yeah, I do feel like that even like this love connection here with somebody may help in terms of healing. The other person may actually be a healthier person, which may help things along in a sense just by being an example. That's always possible too. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting from that. Let's see what you guys have here from the Sacred Creators Oracle, which is the brand new deck that I got, and I'm so excited to test drive these cards. I only pulled like 3 of these once, like the day I got it, just to kind of see what would come out of them for myself, and they seem pretty cool. So let's see what you guys need to know. We have the Good Kind. I'm going to scoot that over a little bit so you guys can see it. Your Soul Shines. Fall in love with your own story. And Light in the Unexpected. Ooh, I like these cards for you guys. Very cool. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start off with here is the Good Kind, and it's so funny because when I first read this, especially considering once again we've been talking about the Lion King a lot in this group, it almost kind of looked at first to me like the Good King. And like I said, you guys, I feel like there's somebody in your family line, and like I said, it may be you, it may be the person watching, and even if you're a girl, like that's okay, then just take it as the good queen, pretty much. But there's somebody here who's meant to step up and be like the good king, the good queen, you know, the Simba, the Mufasa out of this family to, you know, dethrone what the Scar has done and put a scar on your family, basically. And, with the good kind, I feel like that's saying that that's who you are, that you're not defined by the past of what's happened in your family. You're not defined by the chaos that has happened, the abuse that has happened, how family members may have mistreated you or one another, that you are not defined by that you are not an evil person for somebody else's evil and wrongdoings, that you are still a good person, that you are the good kind, basically. So I feel like that's really important. I feel like you really need to know that, because if you don't know that, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know that you're good, then how are you going to heal this? How are you going to get past this? How are future generations in your family going to know that they are the good kind too? So I feel like that's really important for you guys to know and understand. We also have fall in love with your own story. So, every family has a story as well. It's not just, career stories or love stories or whatever, but every family has a story. And like I said, you guys are kind of like the story of the Lion King here. And that's a pretty cool story. That's like one of the best Disney movies of all time. It's pretty epic. I remember that movie from when I was a kid and everything. So, yeah, so fall in love with it. There may be parts that are hard, and there may be parts that you would rather not read those pages and you would rather turn your head away. But even the hard parts, even the painful parts, they're still worth it, because if you didn't go through those bad experiences, if you didn't have a bad day, you would never know what it's like to experience a good day. You would never know what it's like to experience something better coming along. So fall in love with your story of how even your family is going. And then I felt like these two cards really kind of fit in together, because we have your soul shines, light in the unexpected. So, I feel like in a lot of ways, your family has had a lot of darkness, pretty much, from this male overlord, alpha figure in your family line. And, the way to defeat darkness is light, illumination. So I feel like the best thing that you can do is to shine your light, to radiate, to sparkle, you guys. This is why I always tell you as I wrap up these readings that you need to sparkle. Just keep sparkling, because that's so important. Just being you. And you may not think it's that important, and you may think you don't have anything to offer, that it's not a big deal, but you do. You have so much more to offer than you know, so much more to offer than you realize. So you need to shine your soul. It says your soul shines. So shine it, let it radiate. And your soul is you. It's who you are as a person. And who you are as a person is the good kind. There's goodness to be shining out there. And, with light and the unexpected, I feel like in a lot of ways, it's kind of like it would be almost unexpected for, I guess, good things to come out of your family situation, because things have been screwed up for so long. But it just takes one person. It just takes one person to step up and be that page, and step up with their authentic and real offer to make a difference into that family line. And I feel like that person could definitely be you. And then there's going to be light and darkness, which I feel like just a lot of people probably wouldn't expect. And we have a few cards here from the Divine Dog Oracle, because, doggies are like family too, and they're pretty fun. So you guys have self-worth, love what you see. And that's the thing, you guys. If you have been dealing with like an alpha, a very strong alpha male who's basically like, it's my way or the highway, this is the way it's going to be, this is, my world and you just live in it kind of a thing. If you're dealing with somebody who is like that, it can be really hard to see your own self-worth and your own value, because they make it all about them. They could be a very narcissistic person. So I feel like it's really important for you guys to remember to love yourselves, and to, love what you see. Love what you see in every part of yourself, whether it's looking in the mirror and how you look physically, or just like who you are as a person, your thoughts, your emotions, what you like, what you don't like. how you are in terms of a personality, whether you're an extrovert, whether you're an introvert, it doesn't matter. Whatever your personality type is, it doesn't matter. There's something beautiful and wonderful there to offer. There's nobody else on this planet that's like you, and there's no one who's going to be here again like you ever again. So it's really important to recognize the self-worth and rise above what anybody else has said about you in regards to this family stuff. And you guys also have contentment. Be satisfied. So it's important to just kind of chill and relax and be content with who you are on the way to where you're going, because you know what? You may be in a messy situation dealing with your family stuff right now, and that's okay. I guarantee you're not alone, and there's a lot of other people dealing with messy stuff too, and there are probably people dealing with even worse things than you are. So it's always good to count your blessings for what you do have, and to just be content with that. And contentment doesn't mean, be lazy and, don't be ambitious for better. Of course not. Like, it's always good to, do self-improvement and to strive for better. But, to be okay basically with where you are right now on the way to where you're going. So that means, you're still on your way there. You haven't just like decided to stop and sit in the pool forever. So, but yeah, but you are okay. You know that you're okay and you're on your way. And finally, we have breakthrough. Be bold, you guys. So I do feel like breakthroughs will be coming for you dealing with this family stuff. Part of that is being bold. And I feel like part of being bold here is being strong enough to step up with that authentic offer, that very tangible, physical type of offer that will make a difference in your family. And I don't know exactly what that offer is because it may be different for every family, but I do feel like you have something very tangible that you can offer your family to make things better. It could even just be, as simple as like meditating together, or maybe doing group therapy or something. There's so many different options, but be bold. Step out, radiate, sparkle, be you, that kind of stuff. And you're going to find breakthroughs are going to happen. You guys are not going to be controlled and weighed down anymore by this crazy Emperor Scar who decided to take over your family and hijack it at some point in your family's history. There's going to be no more in and out trying to decide, go forward or go backwards kind of a thing. There's going to be no more of that. It's time to just move forward and break through the bondage, break through the pain, break through the obstacles and the barriers that's keeping your family back, basically. And finally, you guys, I have a card from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got forgive and you shall be forgiven, Luke 6:37. And this card is so important, especially in this type of reading, especially with, what has come out already here for you guys. It can be very hard to move forward and to, have these breakthroughs and radiate and sparkle and shine and do what you need to do if you're holding on to bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness towards those who have already hurt you in your family line. Whether it's someone that you already currently deal with who may kind of act like this emperor, or if it even is like this emperor who may be from like way far back when that you don't even know. But even though what they did was wrong and it wasn't just, it wasn't right, you have to trust and have faith that the justice belongs to God, that God is going to be the one to right those wrongs, basically. And the only way he can right those wrongs is if you at least step in the position of forgiving that person. That doesn't make what they did okay, but it does free you from that bondage. It frees you from being chained up here to the chaos that they've caused, basically. It frees you from that prison so you can be free, so you can heal yourself, so you can move on with your life and start doing better and bigger things for yourself and others around you and your family members. So forgiveness is really important here, you guys. Super important. Holding on to bitterness and resentment, that's very toxic, and it just, reiterates it, recycles the damage that's already been done, and nobody needs to be doing that anymore. So hopefully this reading has assisted you and made sense. So yeah, if it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would definitely love to hear from you guys, even if it's just a simple small emoji. And of course, if the message did not flow, just let it go. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out, and I appreciate that as well. And feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And also so you guys know when I'm going live, because that's pretty important too. And every time I go live, you guys will get the little notification, ding, 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 that I am live, and you can jump in on that and get a reading done, which would be super cool. And yeah, so that's basically what I have here going on for you guys. And I'm just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by here and hang out with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling, and I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this clear quartz heart-shaped crystal, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out how you can heal your family ancestral trauma. All right, you guys. So if you really like The Lion King, then pile 1 was probably for you. If you go to that one, you'll see what I mean. But we'll see what's happening here for you guys, pile 2. Okay, so we got some cards here from the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay these all down here for you guys, and we'll see exactly what kind of comes up, what kind of comes out of these, and connect the dots. So we have the Four of Cups. Scooch this over here. We have Strength. The Hermit, the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, you guys. So, first thing I'm noticing with the first card here, you guys have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is a very stubborn card. Pretty much you have this unicorn here that is sitting down and it's looking at these 3 cups in front of it, but it doesn't look very happy. It doesn't look very satisfied, but it's looking at those cups. And up here in the sky, we have a 4th option being offered to this unicorn, which is probably a good offer. It's probably a good thing, but this unicorn is not interested in that 4th option. It is completely fixated on the other 3 cups and totally ignoring the 4th option that's being presented in front of it. So basically this unicorn is stubborn as all hell. So it's a very stubborn card. It indicates a very stubborn type of energy. So I feel like there's something going on in your family line here, or like your family currently or something, where someone's being super stubborn. This could just be like a family trait. It could be a family quality that is kind of passed down from one person to another, is just being very headstrong and very stubborn. And being stubborn isn't always a bad thing. I mean, it can be beneficial if you're using your stubbornness for the right things, you know, if you're standing up for something good and standing strong in that. But you know, considering we're talking about healing something here and the look on this unicorn's face, I'm going to say this stubbornness has probably not been beneficial in the family line. That there are certain people along the way who've probably missed out on good opportunities and good things happening because they've been fixated on the wrong things and not willing to move their eyes elsewhere. And I feel like whoever we're talking about in your family line, because they've been so stubborn here, I feel like they're very strong-willed, because you guys also have the Strength card. So it's almost like being stubborn on steroids in a sense. Once again, strength can be a really good thing too, because if you're someone who's strong, you know, you can probably endure a lot of things and go through a lot of things in life and, last and go the extra mile. And that's great. But once again, I feel like this strength may be applied to the wrong things. Like people are basically watering the flower of stubbornness, making the stubbornness stronger, which is why I say kind of like stubbornness on steroids, basically. Massive stubbornness rather than just, regular run-of-the-mill Joe Schmo kind of stubbornness. But I feel like this is probably, I don't feel like it's necessarily towards like one specific person or one specific generation, but I just feel like this is an overall family trait that's been kind of like passed down. It's like a learned behavior where people have picked up from, their parents, and, their parents have passed it down to their kids, and their kids pass it down to their kids, and so on and so forth. So it's like this ongoing stubborn thing, but I don't feel like it's been beneficial for the family. It probably makes it hard for people to get along. It probably makes people butt heads, and, there's probably misunderstandings and miscommunications because of that. And it doesn't matter if it's like within the family or even outside of the family when people go and work and stuff like that. It could just be in like everyday life kind of situations. So that I feel like this stubborn mentality, and who knows where it started, it's probably been there for a very long time. But I feel like that definitely needs to be broken. And I feel like one of the best ways to break this stubbornness is by going into hermit mode. And, hermit mode is kind of just like going into your own little private cocoon and, not really dealing with other people. So maybe not dealing with the other family members who are stubborn, and getting into a meditative type of space, spending time in prayer, spending time in solitude, because when we spend that time on our own and just dealing with ourselves and dealing with our thoughts and dealing with our own emotions, and just like us and God one-on-one, have that little wrestling session between you and God, that's usually when epiphanies and revelations and things we realize we need to do and things we realize we need to change, and not just what we need to change, but how we need to change it and stuff like that. And, the hermit unicorn here is also holding a little lantern. So I do feel like by doing that, you're going to be illuminated with, how to change this stubborn quality, how to soften it up, how to make things better, or if anything, how to turn this stubborn quality into something that is productive and not destructive within the family line. So I definitely feel like going into hermit mode is going to be the thing that is going to kind of force things to change and force those perspectives. And then we have two action cards here. So we have the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Wands. And these are basically both about action in a lot of ways. So with the Knight of Swords is someone who rushes in with the truth. Who, like this unicorn is speedily moving along. You can see the wind rushing through its mane and its tail. It's clearly at a gallop or a canter, and it is, running along with its sword. And the swords represent our thoughts. They represent, the truths that we need to share. And I feel like if you're the one to basically go into the hermit mode here, you're going to discover what those truths are. You're going to discover what those illuminations are here in that lantern. You're going to figure that out. You're going to find out what those truths are. And I feel like once you find that out, you can rush in with that truth with your family members. You can take action. You can rush in. And that's, the other thing here too is the Eight of Wands here. That's about taking action. And you can't just like collect the information that you receive, the downloads that you get and the words that you get from God on how to improve things with your family. You can't just like receive that and then hold on to that selfishly just to yourself, being in hermit mode. I feel like these are things that you need to go in and express to your family members and talk to them about and take action to make things better here, basically. And I don't feel like they're going to take it badly. I mean, they may be a little stubborn and they may be a little like, what are you talking about, kind of at first, but I don't feel like they're going to react to it like super negative, like super horribly or anything, because I don't feel like you would be getting the green light here to rush in with truth and take action if they were. So it may be a little bit of an adjustment. They may be a little bit like, what the heck is going on here, kind of a thing. But I feel like it would be more so confusion, more so than like putting you down or something. So, yeah, but there's like stubbornness is kind of like your theme here for your family. Like I said, pile 1 was all about the Lion King, which I know is weird, but yeah, it's all about the Lion King, and you guys are all about being stubborn. So now I have some cards here for you guys from the Sacred Creators Oracle. I'm so excited to use these because these are my new ones, and they're super cool. I love their messages, and they're really cute and they're colorful, and yeah, these are just so much fun. So let's see what you guys got. Prosperity's sisters are happiness and joy. The now. Welcome the divine masculine. The spark of hustle. All right, you guys. So I'm going to start off here actually with the spark of hustle, because this pretty much reminds me of you guys taking the action that I was literally just talking about. I was literally just talking about you guys needing to run in with your truth of whatever it is that you discover from your hermit time. I mean, definitely don't rush in with your truth if you don't have it right now. Make sure you go into hermit mode and you have that prayer time and everything. Don't just rush in with a bright idea, because a bright idea probably isn't going to fly too well. But if you spend that time in prayer, if you spend that time, in meditation and everything, and you really get a good word, you really get things illuminated here, that will be the time then for you to rush in with that truth and take action. And I feel like this is just basically confirming that, verifying that, the spark of the hustle, because the hustle is about movement. The hustle is about taking action. It's about doing something. It's about moving forward here. So I definitely feel like there is some of that needs to happen. We also have welcome the divine masculine, which is interesting. I know most of you guys here probably do actually have a divine masculine, because, most of my readings, as I've said before, you guys, are usually love related. And I know most of my viewers are feminines asking about a masculine, which is interesting. So this could be indicating that, like, your person, like your divine masculine, that they will actually be a part of your family. And it could even indicate that your divine masculine, this could be in regards to his family too, that he could have quite a bit of stubbornness in him as well. And I know a few people who actually have that, like, in their person, is like stubbornness is one of their huge qualities. So I know this is going to make sense for somebody. But yeah, like even your person could have some stubborn qualities he may need to break down. But even if, you're not someone who has a divine masculine or has a stubborn divine masculine, this could even actually, it could imply to a divine masculine within your family line. Who could also be very stubborn. It doesn't have to be love related. It could be a father. It could be a grandfather. It could be an uncle. It could be somebody else in your family who is a divine masculine, basically, in your family line. And I just feel like overall it's kind of referencing like a masculine energy, like a masculine presence in your family. And I almost kind of feel like that masculine energy here, it could be a couple of things. It could be like partially like this wounded masculine who can be very stubborn. And then I feel like there's the healthier, more divine type of masculine here, who is the one who, once again, takes action pretty much, because that's what masculine energy does. It goes out there and it seizes the day pretty much. It's the feminines who are supposed to be very receptive and kind of just, sit back and relax and just receive in a sense. But it's the masculines who are the go-getters and the hustlers and, the ones out there who are, seizing the moment pretty much in life. So I feel like there's definitely like a masculine link here. I'm not exactly sure with who or how, but I feel like this, if there's somebody with a divine masculine or dealing with a divine masculine within their family, they're going to know who this is in reference to. They're going to know. Like, that'll make sense. It'll click for you. With the now, I feel like that's saying focus on the present. Focus on the present moment when it comes to your family as a whole. I know we're talking about ancestral trauma, which obviously implies to the past. But I feel like this card is asking you to not live in the past and also don't live in the future. Try not to, figure all this out and everything. So you can, just change things and make things better for the future. The future will come and, tomorrow will take care of itself. But I feel like this is definitely asking you to just be in the present moment. And that's very much what the hermit does. The hermit is in that present moment. The hermit isn't necessarily concerned about the past or the future because it's someone who is just living in that present moment and taking that in. So, definitely just be in the present moment. Try not to be in the future or the past. That's really hard to do because it's human nature to go towards one or the other in general. But definitely still try to just live in the now, live in the present. And we have Prosperity's sisters are happiness and joy. And I kind of get two funny things here with this. So number one, we have Prosperity's sisters, and we're talking about family here. And this literally could be in relation to like a pair of sisters. Once again, I don't know if that fits your situation or your family. It could be, maybe you have a sister and, maybe this is someone that you're really close to, or, maybe you have two sisters or something like that. But there could be just two sisters somewhere in your family. It could be like a pair of cousins. It could be, a couple of aunts that you have, could be anything. But I feel like there's definitely like a pair of sisters somewhere in this family where there's some important role that they play in all of this that's going on. Maybe they're super stubborn sisters, I don't know. But whoever they are, I feel like regardless of who they are or whoever anyone else is in the family, whether it's sisters or a masculine or whoever it is, happiness and joy, that's true. They are sisters. And here's the thing. Like, happiness and joy, they are related to one another, but they're not exactly the same thing. Like, if you're just thinking about the words happiness and joy. Because happiness, at least the way I see it, happiness is more of a surface level feeling. It's kind of like, those fleeting moments of happiness in a sense. It's like, if you find a really good deal, you get like a really good bargain when you're out shopping, that'll make you happy in the moment. But it's a surface kind of thing. Like, that's something that you're not going to remember 5 years from now. Like, hey, do you remember that really good deal I got at such and such store? Yeah, you were happy in that moment, but you're not going to remember that 5 years from now. Or, it's like maybe when somebody treated you to a nice meal or something, that's going to make you happy in the moment. But once again, it's probably not something that's going to have like a long lasting impression. It's more surface level. It's a little bit more shallow. But when you look at joy, I look at joy as like depth. It is a deeper kind of happiness. It's something that you don't forget. It's like, the birth of your first child. It's falling in love for the first time. It's your first kiss. It's, like a really memorable Christmas that you had with your family. It's those type of things. It's like a deep level type of joy. And that's also the kind of joy that transcends pain and suffering and, when we go through hard times, because it's possible to still have joy even when your life is falling apart. You could be like losing your home or losing your job or losing a loved one or, like losing your mind, losing something, like something could be going horribly wrong. However, you can still have joy in those deeper areas. You can still have joy in the fact that you have your friends. You can have joy in the fact that you have your family. You can have joy in the fact that, you know, you found true love. You can have joy in the fact that, you know, you have like a pet who greets you at the door every day and adores you. You know, those things don't change. So it's like, joy is something that's of depth and it's deeper and something that doesn't really change because it's so strong and because it's so deep. Happiness is more surface level and it can be forgotten. It's not as higher of a value, but they do kind of carry similar things. Either way, they're things that make you feel good. So they're not necessarily identical, but they are sisters. They are related. And I feel like it's really important for you guys to remember, you know, the surfacey stuff, and of course, and definitely the much deeper stuff when it comes to your family and the good times that you've experienced with them. And we also have a few cards here from the Divine Dog of Wisdom. And you guys have, oh, this is so funny. I love it when cards confirm one another, especially from other decks. You guys got action, seize the day. And what did I say here? 8 of Wands, action. Knight of Swords, taking action with the truth. So this card's literally here just to confirm what I already said. Take action and, you know, express your truth when you come out of that hermit mode as to how you guys can like improve your family and work on things and make things better and loosen up the stubborn grip that people may sometimes have. You guys also got playfulness, just for fun. And I feel like this may actually be one of the ways that your family can kind of loosen up that stubborn mentality that people seem to share down the line. If people are just more playful and maybe don't take things as seriously as they do, then they might loosen up their grip on being so stubborn, and they might soften up on that a little bit, because I feel like people who take things more seriously or take a situation seriously, they're probably going to be more stubborn and hard-headed about it. They're not going to be as flexible and mobile. But if someone is playful, they're just kind of like happy-go-lucky and anything goes. And I'm not saying that, you know, this means people should just be loosey-goosey and go to the opposite extreme and just never care. But I feel like it'll bring in some balance if they bring in some playfulness into their lives and into what's happening. And we also have gratitude, which is always important. Give thanks. I also feel like if people are just more thankful within your family in general, that will probably be another helpful aid besides the playfulness in loosening up that stubborn grip that seems to be passed down from one family member to another and, you know, kind of just like spreads like a disease. It's the stubborn disease. It's stubborn 19. It's just spreading all over your family. But I feel like this is a good way to vaccinate it, is to, you know, give thanks, have a little bit of gratitude, acknowledge the good things that you already have and the good things that are already going on. And finally, you guys, I have a card here from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got, love one another as I have loved you, John 13:34. And that is a beautiful verse. And I feel like that's just a reminder of what your family basically needs to do for one another. Just continue to love one another. You know, love is like the strongest and most important emotion and action and vibe really in the world. It's greater than anything. It's the only thing that can bust down hate. And if it can bust down hate, it can definitely bust down anything that's stubborn. So just remember to love one another. It's not always easy to do, but that's where love becomes a choice and a part of taking an action, more so than just an ooey gooey emotional feeling. So hopefully this reading made sense for you guys and it resonated. If the message did not flow, of course just let it go. But if it did make sense, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys, even if it's just through a simple small emoji. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And also so you guys know when I'm going live, because every time I go live, you guys will get the little ding, ding, ding notification that I am, and then you guys can hop on and get a reading, and that would be super cool as well. So I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by, hang out here with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose the opalite crystal, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out how to heal your ancestral trauma. All right, you guys. We've had some good stuff going on here. Good information coming through for the past couple of piles. Hopefully that'll be helpful to them. Let's see how we can be of assistance to you. So we're going to start off here with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and I'm just going to go ahead here and lay down all the cards, and then we will jump into it, connect the dots, see how they relate to one another, and see what you guys need to know. So you guys have the Five of Wands, the Page of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Okay, you guys. So, what I see happening here for you guys, we're going to start off here with the Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands is a little chaotic. The Five of Wands is about conflict. It is about strife and struggle and just, people not getting along. So this card could literally represent your family. Because we have a bunch of unicorns here, and they are kind of just at war with one another. They're moving around, they're getting up on their hind legs, they got wands. It's almost like they're kind of beating each other with their wands pretty much here. And I feel like this could kind of be what's happening here in your family. There could just be people at odds with one another, lots of conflict, lots of arguing and bickering, not getting along, just, everyone button heads, and, no one's getting anywhere, basically. No one's making any difference in anyone's life. So it seems to be like just a lot of strife and a lot of conflict. And I feel like this strife and conflict goes a ways back, because we also have the Six of Cups here, and the Six of Cups is about nostalgia. It's very much so a past energy. So, even if you're someone where you're just like, yeah, I'm not having any strife, I'm not having any conflict with my family right now, that's great and that's awesome. But I feel like if there isn't any of that currently happening and things are generally peaceful and things are generally good, I mean, that's great. Like, I want that to continue for you guys, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing to be healed from the past, because I feel like then this strife and conflict probably goes back to the past. It probably goes back to times before your present family dynamic. And if you are someone who's just like, oh yeah, that's my family, we fight like cats and dogs, then this is probably letting you know that this has been going on for many generations, that this has been passed down from one generation to another, to another, to another, to another, because it becomes a learned behavior. And as people are in those situations, then, they don't know any better. They just think that that's normal, that that's the way families are supposed to operate, that that's the way they're supposed to be, that, they're supposed to scream at each other. And for some of you, it could be really, really bad. I mean, it could be the point, get to the point where it could be abusive, where there's verbal abuse involved, or physical abuse, where it could involve like people literally getting physical with one another, throwing things at one another, hitting each other. It could be really bad for some of you guys. For some of you, it could be extreme. For some of you, it could just be, like your run-of-the-mill arguing. But regardless, I feel like this has been passed down from one generation to another, that it's been going on for a long time here with this Six of Cups, because the Six of Cups, like I said, it deals with the past. It's a very nostalgic type of energy. It's something that goes way back. So I feel like this has been going on for a long time, It's going back and forth here. And as for these other three cards, I feel like these are more ways to kind of like help get past this. So, number one, with the Seven of Wands, this is someone who basically perseveres, someone who gets through, someone who's strong. So I feel like there's someone in your family line, probably you, the person who's watching this, the viewer, and you are stronger than you realize. And that even though this bickering and this fighting that has gone down from one generation to another, to another, to another, you are strong enough to change that. You're strong enough to change the story, to change the direction of the ship. You know, imagine you're like on this big, gigantic ship, like you're on the Titanic or something, and you're the captain. And you can make this story play out differently. The Titanic doesn't have to sink. It's like every time a new generation comes along in your family, whoever the captain is, they always do the same thing, and all the bickering is distracting, and they wind up hitting that iceberg, and the whole ship goes down. And this happens like over and over and over again, like a Titanic version of Groundhog's Day. And I don't know why movies keep coming into my mind right now as I'm like doing this reading with the family ancestral stuff. I mean, pile one was all about the Lion King, and right now I'm getting this weird Groundhog's Day version of the Titanic, pretty much, for you guys. But I feel like you guys can change that, and that you can be that transitional family member here that changes it. And with you as the captain, you can see that iceberg coming long before all your generations before you. And that because of that, you can take that wheel and you can twist it and you can turn it and you can move that boat on the right track before it's too late. And then before you know it, you're no longer dealing with the Titanic anymore, because it's not going to drown, and it's not going to repeat itself over and over again either, like Groundhog's Day, because it's going to be a whole new thing. It'll be a whole new story, you know, who knows? It'll be, I don't know, what's another boat story? I don't know, Love Boat or something. I don't know. But it'll go better is the point. Like, things will change, but it has to change because someone is persistent enough to persevere. And I feel like that is you, the person who is watching this. And I feel like you do have ideas and you do have ways to go about this, because that's kind of what the Page of Swords is about. Pages in general are very youthful in terms of their energy. But pages, you know, they're not at the point where they're taking action just yet, like a knight. And they're definitely not a king. But, you know, there's someone who's just kind of like bubbling up with the original ideas and the original intentions. And swords symbolizes our thoughts, basically. So I feel like with this unicorn, that's kind of you guys. You guys have thoughts. You guys have ideas. Like, you have ideas on how you can change your family dynamic and how you can make this better. How you can finally stop hitting that iceberg every generation. But you guys aren't necessarily at the point where you're ready to take action yet. But I feel like you guys do have it in you. You guys do have ideas. And I feel like they're worthwhile ideas too, that they're valuable, that they can change things, they can make it better. I feel like the only thing missing for you guys is you guys just need that spark to push you through to do it. Because that's kind of what the Ace of Wands is about. The Ace of Wands is about a fiery and passionate new beginning. It's about a spark. And I feel like that may be what's missing, is you guys may have the ideas and you may have the thoughts, but you may not necessarily have the drive to do it yet. You know you can persevere, you know you can persist, and you know you can push through, and you know you have the thoughts and ideas to change it. But you're missing that spark. You're missing that drive. You're missing that, you know, that final oomph, that final something to get you to do it. I feel like that's all you're missing. And I don't know what that missing thing is, but you guys will know what it is when it comes along. I feel like that's the missing ingredient, but you guys will get it. It'll get there. And then you can finally shift all this conflict and bickering and chaos and insanity that's been going on for years and years from one generation to another. Okay, we also have some cards here for you guys from the Sacred Creator's Oracle, which is the brand new deck that I just got this week, and I'm so excited to use these cards. I love them already. They're so much fun. They're pretty, and I love their messages, and they're just super cool. So let's see what you guys got. So we have Gratitude again. Lead your metamorphosis. Nourish the sacred feminine. The distraction of shiny things. Okay, so right off the bat here with the distraction of shiny things, this may be part of the reason why there's conflict in your family. Maybe your family, simply put, just gets distracted by shiny things. And I'm not going to say that, your family is materialistic or anything like that and that they're shallow, but they could have some shallow tendencies and there could be some materialistic type of tendencies. Basically investing themselves in things that are not on the deeper level of things and not necessarily of value for the long haul. So this could be one of the reasons why conflicts wind up arising, because if people are getting sucked into like that materialistic kind of life, it can create a lot of chaos. I mean, prime example, like let's once again going with some pop culture type of references. Look at Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They could be very nice people, in person and everything, and on a personal level. I'm just going based off of the show here. But, they obviously kind of live a materialistic life, getting all like the nice and shiny brand new things and all their sponsorships and all their deals and branding and marketing and all that kind of stuff. And, the hair and the makeup and the fake this and the fake that on their body and everything. It's Hollywood. It's a shallow way of living, and I've lived in LA for the past 15 years, so it doesn't matter whether it's the Kardashians or somebody else. I'm familiar with the fakery that surrounds me there. But, the point is, like, they have that going on. And then if you've watched the show, I'm not going to say that they're not loving towards one another, because, yeah, they do have, scenes where they come together and stuff. But have you seen how much, like, insanity there is there? And, I can't remember what it was. It was one of, like, the very, very early episodes, like, from 2007 or 2008, something like that. And, like, Kim came into the room and she was, like, attacking Chloe and stuff. And they were just, like, catfighting and everything. But that's conflict, you guys. That's conflict. So it could be kind of like that. It could be, like, this kind of crazy Kardashian type of situation here. So I feel like that could be the cause of some of the conflict here. And I feel like one of the ways to beat being distracted by shallow, shiny type of things is gratitude. The more thankful that you and your family are for what they already have, for what's already been given to them, they're not going to focus on, shiny things. Needing to have like the newest and hottest gadget, needing to have like a Tesla or something like that, they're going to be satisfied with what they already have, they're going to be content. And I think it's interesting because this card doesn't just say gratitude, but it says gratitude again. So I feel like this may be something that your family has tried practicing in the past, and I'm not saying it hasn't worked, but I feel like this is something that, they need to remind themselves of, that this isn't just a one-time thing. You don't just sit there and say you're thankful like one day out of the year and then you're all set and you're fine, you're covered for the year. No, it's something that you have to do day in and day out. This is why people write gratitude journals and, say affirmations and stuff like that. It is a daily thing. We should daily be finding things we are thankful for at the very least. Sometimes it's even good to find things that you're thankful for multiple times a day. Especially if you're given a reason to, be thankful as much as you can. Like, you can never overdose on gratitude. So, it's really important to just keep doing that over and over again. Practice gratitude, and if you start doing it, it'll be contagious. It'll be something that'll be infectious, and if you're doing it, it's going to catch on, and the rest of your family will probably start doing it too. And it's much better to spread around some gratitude in your family than some conflict. And then we have nourish the sacred feminine. So I know most of the people who watch my videos are women. They are the feminines, basically. So I feel like this is basically reminding you guys to take care of you as the feminine. I know most of you guys are probably dealing with a divine masculine, which is so funny because there was a masculine related card that came out in group 2. But I feel like this is just reminding you guys to take care of that feminine side of you and, be receptive. Be receptive is what it comes down to, because that's what the feminine does. And just to take care of you and be receptive. And we also have lead your metamorphosis. And I feel like this is kind of what I was referencing earlier here, is you guys be the one to be that transitional character in your family story. You guys be the one to change the trajectory of the story pretty much here. You guys be the one to be that captain of the Titanic and move that ship away from that iceberg before it hits it. So that way then you guys don't have Groundhog's Day and repeat Titanic all over again for another generation. So you guys can be the ones to lead that change, to change that dynamic so there's no more chaos and conflict happening in your family. And then, peace can come along and it can be smooth sailing, smooth waters from there on out. Okay. You guys also have a few cards here from the Divine Dog of Wisdom. And you guys got Solitude, Time to Restore. So, I feel like that kind of piggybacks on that Nourish the Sacred Feminine card. Spend some time in solitude. That's going to help you rest. It's going to help you restore. It's going to help you recharge your battery, basically. Just take care of you. Especially if you are dealing with chaos and conflict within your family and everything. It can be easy to kind of get into this loop where you're trying to take care of everybody else. So don't forget to take care of yourself, because if you are not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to help anybody else. You won't be able to assist and be there for anyone. So make sure you are definitely doing that. And, I feel like solitude is helpful really in any of these piles, because not to say that we should always be spending time by ourselves, because no, of course we shouldn't. We're human beings, we're social creatures, so we do want to spend time with other people, but it is important to take that time to step away and step into a period of time of just spending a little bit of time on your own. It doesn't even have to be a huge amount of time, even if it's just 10 minutes by yourself every day. Spend a little bit of time in prayer. It's really going to help recharge your battery, reset yourself. It's like the spiritual equivalent of unplugging the cable box and plugging it back in kind of thing. It just helps you make sure that you're working right, pretty much. And we also have protection. Put your guard up. So I feel like this card kind of goes into when your family does get into those crazy and chaotic moments of conflict. I think it's important to protect yourself, simply because you don't want to engage in that. If somebody is trying to get you fired up and get you riled up and, basically fight back with them, they may feed off of that. They may think that that's like a good thing in a sick and twisted way. So instead of engaging in that, just walk away from that. Just tell them you're not going to engage with that and, go the other way, do your thing in solitude and leave it at that. So I think that's a good way to protect yourself. And, it really starts putting up those boundaries and establishing the fact that you're not going to accept that kind of behavior anymore within your family. And you shouldn't accept that behavior from anybody, family or not. So definitely protect yourself. And you guys also have guilt. Turn off the alarm. So if you guys do need to do that, if you do need to put your guard up, for example, you may actually wind up feeling guilty for doing that, simply because you yourself may be used to engaging in the conflict, and you may feel badly, even though you shouldn't, for putting up those boundaries. But don't feel guilty for it. Don't feel bad about it, because it's good for you, it's good for the other person, it's good for what's happening in your family. And while it may seem hard in the moment while you're doing it, it is truly going to be of a healing process and help things in your family down the road. That would be, for example, you starting to turn the wheel away from that iceberg so you don't wind up crashing and hitting it again for your family. So, don't feel bad about needing to put up your boundaries and, needing to do what's right here. Don't feel badly when it comes to that time where, maybe you want to implement some of these thoughts and ideas that you have to make things better for your family. It may seem really hard. It may seem out of the norm. Family members may not necessarily receive it very well, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be done and it doesn't need to happen. So don't feel guilty for it. Don't feel bad for it when you hit those moments of struggle. Things always get worse before they get better, It's kind of like if this was an illness, for example, the fever may have to rise a little bit before it falls. So just remember that, and don't give up when you get into those difficult type of tricky areas dealing with family members. Finally, you guys, we have a card here from 11 Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, and you guys got Seek and you shall find, Matthew 7:7. So I feel like that kind of goes back to your time of solitude here, you guys. When you have time of solitude, seek God's word. Seek in prayer and meditation input on how to go about what to do when it comes to these family dynamics and the conflicts that happen, and how to go about it in a healthy and productive way that is going to make things better. Because you know what, here, doing this reading and everything, this is a great start, and this is a great way to kind of kick that off. But honestly, no reading can give you insight better than God can. And, God is the one who ultimately has all of those answers, and, probably even more answers than just this. It's like I said at the beginning of this reading, you guys, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg of what needs to be done. There's probably even more than that. But the best way to deep dive into that is to pray, spend time with God, seek Him for the answers, and He will definitely follow through for you guys and let you know what's up and what needs to be done. So hopefully this reading made sense for you and resonated. If the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did make sense, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. Even if it's just a simple small emoji, it goes a long way. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way, and also so you guys know when I'm going live, because every time I go live, you guys will get the little notification, ding, 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 that I'm live, and then you can join in on the fun and get a reading done, and it would be just super cool to have you there and hang out for a little while. So yeah, anyway, I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by and hang out here with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love.